I would say it was a Habitat for Humanity build. And I took my son, who was approximately 13 at the time, and I thought it was one great for him to get involved. He enjoyed the running around with me, trying to nail up things with a nail gun, sweeping and staying involved. But I think it taught him a lot about how to help others and realize that some people were not as fortunate as he. So that was very rewarding.
I would have to say my favorite would be when I raised a seeing eye dog. It was after college, and I love animals. I had wanted to do it for a really long time, and it was the greatest experience I've ever had. We had him for 13 months, and I was really involved. It taught me that giving back is really important. I saw, the effect he was able to have on someone else's life, someone that was visually impaired. And now he is traveling the world because she works for the FBI.
I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University, and during my sophomore year, spring break, I volunteered with United Way. And we went down to Mississippi, and it was after Hurricane Katrina hit. And it was a group of 10 of us from New Jersey. And it was all about team building. But really it was about giving back to that local community, and it truly was a very devastating experience, a very heartwarming. I don't think the words thank you really said as much as these individuals felt. We did rebuilding of homes, we did demolition, we did surveying, we worked with some of the children at youth shelters. And it really got me thinking about how lucky I am and where I live, and that we don't get hit by hurricanes. So it was a week-long experience, and I have really never looked back since then. And since I got back from that spring break, I made it my sole purpose to be engaged in the local community, volunteer as much as I can, but I also made my career out of it.
My most memorable story for volunteering time is associated with Collier Services, which is an at-risk middle school and high school in Wickettuck, New Jersey, that take middle-aged and high school kids out of the public school system and bring them to Collier to help them achieve and be successful. The children there are socioeconomically have different situations. It's not a drug school, it's not an alcohol school. For whatever reason, these children are talented and are at risk where they can't leverage those skills where they're in the public school system. So a number of years ago, we were at a Christmas pageant, and there was a boy doing a Christmas song on his clarinet, and there was a couple in the back of the room that was sobbing. So my wife and I went back to find out what the problem was, and as it turns out, it was their son who was doing the clarinet. Their son was a senior. He had been bullied and had a miserable life experience and had tried to kill himself several times, including that summer. In a period of 3 short months at Collier, that boy had more friends and more friendship and more support than he ever had in his entire life combined, and frankly put this boy in a position where he could succeed. And that's what Collier does, and that's why I'm proud to be part of that organization.
Well, I work with the Beagle Rescue League, which is an animal rescue that focuses specifically on beagles, but mostly beagles that have been previously used in laboratory research, and we give them a chance to be rehomed and live their life as just normal pets. And the first experience I had on site with the group was doing a meet and greet at Petco, which is a great way to just introduce these dogs to potential adopters. And it was the first time that I saw a beagle that had been used in a research facility. They look like normal dogs. They're usually pretty small, but they have a tattoo on the inside of their ear, which is used for identification purposes. And just seeing that all for the first time and kind of realizing what you're doing and why you're there, it just kind of hits you very hard. But it was a great experience, and just seeing people interact with the animals. And the best part is seeing when an adoption goes through and they actually go home, and then a couple weeks later you're seeing photos on Facebook and they're happy and they're sleeping in beds and they have all these toys, and it's just the best feeling in the world for me.
Thanksgiving, we did for the Salvation Army, we helped feed families in need and homeless. We did it here in town in Perth Amboy, and the facility provided all the trimmings, all the desserts, the foods, everything, along with one of the local churches in the area. And there was a huge line coming in of people, and we were helping, all of us come together, helping feed them, going into like conversations, and they just really didn't have any plans, didn't know where to go, and we're just there coming together and enjoying a great meal. It really felt like family. It really did. So that was something that I'm looking forward to doing it again this year.